I mean, even though we stand alone, we stand together.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for landing. Fasten your seatbelts. Thank you for flying Air Force Airlines. Oh, me. Call me the captain. Just blaze.
They say a family that prays together stays together, and one that walks apart just falls apart. So together we stand, divided we fall, united we form Voltron and take on all. Let's move, yes. The birds left the nest. I'm all grown up, I gotta fly with the rest.
Yo, what's up to all you angels and heathens up there?
We back.
Yes, we are back. We took a little short hiatus. Shout out to everybody who's been playing catch up. Shout out to people who stumbled across the show since then and started listening. Yeah, I got to say this too at the top. Man, so we've done about 8 shows and, you know, some pretty interesting topics, right?
Yeah.
And it still tickles me that the one that we had the most passionate debate about was about gospel rap.
Oh, really? Okay,
Like-
I ain't know. We,
like-
yeah. We got to finish that up, though.
We
You know
do.
what I'm saying? 'Cause
We
there's
do.
a lot of stuff in that. It's
We do. Because I got some hot takes for you, too.
Oh, goodness.
I was working on some bars. I was making a diss track.
Not a diss track.
It's like hit 'em on part 2.
Is it a I guess it wouldn't be a gospel diss track from you.
No, it will be a gospel diss track.
No, you can't do a gospel diss track. A heathen cannot do a gospel diss track.
I was gonna get Kurt Franklin to do the beat.
No. A heathen cannot do it.
Why?
No, that's like a double. No, you can't do it.
Listen, if Kanye could drop a gospel album, hold on, I'll take it even a step further. If R. Kelly can make a gospel album,
Stop. No,
I can too.
we need to be praying for our guests.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Hey, look, we was doing two different types of praying. People,
No, I'm
you
just-
pray, he was praying with an E.
You know what? But that's a sign. But you know what? That whole situation, I read in an article years ago about him when he was saying how he needed to get back in church. He said he know how his mother raised him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And he know what he need to do. He said, but right now, I need to get this money.
Okay.
And this might have been 2000 and he might have did his second album, whatever. So it was like years ago. And it's like, okay, after so much, you're going to keep on. Eventually, you know, like they say, what you do in the dark going to come to the light. It's happening across the board. Will Smith, P. Diddy, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
He's
man.
seeing all this stuff, but it's like, hey, you know, I'm the type of person where, yo, we need to pray for them, especially like Will Smith right now.
Oh,
They
you know what?
killing him. bro.
He's probably the only person I would pray for if I did pray. Only because I feel like with him, man, it's just that's a whole bag of worms to even unpack. I just feel bad for him in the sense of, like, let's be honest, he's being totally disrespected by his wife.
Yeah, well, yeah, his wife is the main one.
Yeah, like that's the crazy part. Like I can deal with disrespect from almost anybody, right?
Yeah.
Like at my job, because I can go to a place where, okay, look,
Right.
I'm getting paid to be here.
Right.
That's just words, whatever. But if I'm getting disrespected at home
That's a
from
whole
my
other thing.
person,
Yeah.
bruh, like matter of fact, I had this conversation with somebody, and I was like, you know, I was basically explaining how, as a man, we get our confidence from our women because, or at least some of it, because if I'm getting disrespected at home, then why wouldn't I get disrespected at work? Why wouldn't I? Like, in order for me to go out into the world and be a man, the one place I need to come home and get it
Yeah.
is home.
Yeah.
The one person I need to get it from
Yeah.
is you. And if I'm not you basically setting me up. Like, it's funny how, like, I've seen this too, where a woman will complain about, you know, the confidence of her man, or he ain't this, he ain't that, but yet you talking to him so it's like you not pouring into him the things that you want, but you expecting him to just all of a sudden find it.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, because, and I hate to say it like this, because some people ain't built a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, but if you want that, like, last thing I'm going to do, if I want my woman to feel beautiful, I'm not going to call her a bitch.
Right.
I'm not going to call her out her name. I'm not going to belittle her. If I want her to feel empowered and I want her to feel like an equal partner in this relationship, the last thing I'm going to do is beat her down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, to me, common sense.
Right.
But you got a lot of people that do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, so why are you there? Obviously, there's a benefit to being with this person.
Right.
Right? And this kind of bleeds into the topic of the day. First, make sure you leave your comments and questions.
Yeah.
On our voicemail hotline is 248-677-1803. But yeah,
I just don't like the fact of, you know what I'm saying? When it's all said and done, one, you know, his wife coming out with all this stuff, that's still his wife.
Yeah.
They ain't divorced or nothing like that. And, you know, it don't sound like they got a quote unquote bad divorce. I guess they've been separated 7 years, but it's like, yo, don't
But
be
why
putting
would
y'all
you know
business out there like that.
That's
You know
my
what
whole.
I'm saying? Like,
why do I need
you
to know this?
Exactly. And you the one doing this. It's not like he was sitting next to her and they said, let's talk about this and all this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He already embarrassed himself by slapping somebody, you know.
Yeah.
His career then took a, you know.
Well, he embarrassed
down.
himself before that because ain't no way you gonna have me sit across the table listening to you talking about you sleeping with somebody else.
That's a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no way.
He doesn't, and this is not a segment on Will Smith, but if you look at him, he don't even really look the same.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
he looks like a man with no confidence.
He looked like he need to be on that watch list. Like, y'all better be checking on Will. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because not only did his wife come out with something, now I guess his personal assistant, where it's like, yo, these are supposed to be people that was in your immediate circle.
Yes.
And now y'all just dumping on him month after month.
The knives in the
and I'm
back.
not saying he's right. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Or he's
not
perfect.
saying he's perfect
Yeah.
or wrong. But at the end of the day, I look at it just like in life. Everybody make mistakes. Everybody mess up. Everybody have issues. But, man, you don't have to just start dumping on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man.
what in the world? That's still a human being.
What's crazy to me is because, like, you know, his wife came out with a book, and you know, people are like, "Well, he's admitted to cheating. He's done this." Yeah, he's admitted to cheating. Like, I don't know how many times, but like, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
He did it like in a couple interviews, but it wasn't like he ain't spent years
Right.
going into detail,
Mm-hmm.
putting his wife through that persistent position of having to relive
Right.
that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this woman spent years talking more about Tupac.
That's a, you know what? That,
You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like,
oh,
can you imagine if Will Smith was gloating, just talking about some other woman?
right.
I ain't never heard it.
Right.
He ain't spent years talking about this other woman. He ain't spent years talking about, you know, the time he slept with his daughter's friend.
Right.
And let's be honest, if that whole situation was different, if Will Smith slept with his daughter's friend, you already know how that would look.
Right.
But she sleeps with her son's friend, and it's just,
Right.
you know, an entanglement.
It's an entanglement.
It's an entanglement.
We good. We can move
So now
forward.
we
It's
giving it
just an
cute
entanglement.
names and like that type of stuff. And this is what I mean by the disrespect, because it's like, yo, like, if you respect me and you love me, first thing you're not going to do is put me in a position. Second thing you're not going to do is tell the whole world.
Right. At the end of the day, what you're supposed to do when you're in a relationship, you're supposed to cover each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to have each other's back. It's supposed to be ride or die. It's supposed to be, what was that song back in the day? I know you should remember it. When Ice Cube, they wasn't together, but they made a song called Bonnie and Clyde. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Where it's supposed to be, you know, you and your girl or you and your guy against the world. I got your back, you got mine. You know what I'm saying? Let's ride this thing out. What is it? Jay-Z, Beyonce, what is it? That on the run type stuff or whatever. And they had the whole, you know what I'm saying, the
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
Meaning they were together, they got each other's back, even if the world is against them.
Yeah.
You know, we got these shirts out here, Detroit versus everybody, Michigan versus everybody. Man, let's make a shirt to say me and Babe versus everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Me and my
That's
wife
how it's
versus
supposed to-
everybody, yeah.
that's how it's supposed to be, that we hold each other down no matter what. And watch this. And even if you go your separate ways, okay? Let's have enough respect for each other in the relationship. That is certain things that, watch this, everybody just don't need to know. That happened between us. Because sometimes, you know, sometimes stuff can be rekindled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But once you allow too many people to get involved, you know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be able to get rekindled because too many people involved.
Yep.
You know, and I'm about to get in trouble for this, but it is what it is. I know they secular artists, but shouts out to Nelly and Ashanti. Y'all made it back together. It is what
Dog,
it is.
I'm so happy.
It is what it is.
That's the thing. Like, you got people
y'all
like, oh,
happy, y'all happy.
he was like this or she was like that. Like, it don't matter. Like,
So what?
they could have changed. They
They
could
could
have
have changed.
become better people and found their way back to each other.
They could have
Like,
grew from that.
exactly.
You could have learned from that. You know what I'm
Or
saying?
you could have learned from the loss.
Yes,
you know
you
what
could
I'm
have
saying?
learned from the loss.
I lost her. I lost him. Let
Yes.
me figure my stuff out.
And grown from it. Found out, yo, it's some things I need to work out. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you'll sit back and realize as you get older in life, certain things may not be as important. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Where it's like, did I
Yep.
really argue over that? That ain't even important to me right now.
I'm glad you said that because, okay, well, the
Let's
title,
get to it.
the title,
Let's rock.
the
Let's rock.
title of today's episode is "Don't Waste My Time."
Don't waste my time.
Don't waste my time. And I don't know if this is just a man thing or I don't know if women feel this way too, but I could tell you for a fact that as a man, I can waste money,
Yeah.
but you will not waste my time because I can make money. I can work
You
overtime.
can make the
and
money back. Yeah.
Exactly. there's no more making time. Once that hour went by, that hour is gone. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and if I do want to, like, whatever I was gonna do with that hour, I have to now move something else.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I'm taking that hour in the future to get this hour. You know what I'm saying? But it's still gone.
Yeah.
Point is, you know, and we kind of talked about relationships, and this is where I feel like it's felt the most. Is you got a lot of people that are basically wasting their time in relationships, but don't want to leave.
Sure.
And this is the biggest reason, because they feel like they've invested so much time in it
Mm-hmm.
that they don't want to like walk away from it. But to me, the thing about wasting a year,
Yeah.
the thing that's worse than wasting a year is wasting 2. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I had to get to the point, like, you know, I'm divorced and we just finalized, thank God. And like, you know, in hindsight,
Yeah.
in,
All right.
in hindsight, I would have left a long time ago. But I'm like, you know, I had this whole thing, like, I got a family and, you know, I want to lose that. You know, what are people going to say? And, you know, I don't know. You know, like, nobody wants to go into a marriage
Sure.
divorce, right?
Sure.
And so, and nobody goes in thinking that they're going to get divorced one day. Because if we did, a whole lot more people would get prenups. Point is, I was thinking about everything else but the fact of, am I wasting my time? And once I got to the point, I was like, you know what? There's no coming back from this. I'm wasting my time here. I moved my feet.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm about to just go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm going to even be fully, transparent. I got into a so we were separated for like 3-some years, right? And during the course of those 3 years, she told me for a fact we was never getting back together. Tried to make it work. Like I thought that most people should do, right? Because relationships, you know what I'm saying? Through the good and the bad, better or worse.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be. So I'm like, let's work this out.
Yeah.
She made it clear that she didn't want to work it out. Okay, cool. So I moved my feet. I started dating around. And because here was my attitude. My attitude was, everybody's telling me how expensive a divorce was. So I'm like, well, if we're just living separate lives, but I'm not with anybody, well, I'll get to the divorce. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not with anybody, right? And so I was never really with anybody. I was just dating around. But then when I found the person that was like, okay, now I'm about to be with you, then I was like, okay, let me start planning out this divorce. And, you know, kind of snowball from there. And it was crazy, though, because as soon as, not only did I move on, but I filed for divorce, all of a sudden, you know, she did a 180. She want to work things out, Didn't happen. Tried to sabotage my new relationship. And, but I learned a lot in that time, though. Like, one, don't stay in a situation that's hopeless.
Okay.
Right? Because that's literally wasting your time. Like, if you feel like you're not going anywhere.
But see, then we got to define what makes it hopeless.
When the other person says they don't want to do anything.
Well, I think before you do that, this is my suggestion. I'm not, you know, I'm not your guy Steve Harvey or Dr. Phil or anybody like that. It's just me.
Yeah.
But I would recommend go to counseling.
Oh, agreed.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people can say it's hopeless, but yet it may take a third-party person to point out the other person's perspective on things. You know what
Agreed.
I'm saying? Where they can sit back like,
A
yo,
neutral
I
party.
didn't even see it like that.
Yeah.
Now that I see it, that, yo, now it might be hope. Because
Yeah.
I've been looking at it, watch this, through hurt and pain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not looking at it from that person's perspective where it's like, yo, they wasn't trying to cause no hurt and pain. Now, hurt and pain may have came out the situation, and maybe you did get hurt, but you've been stuck at the place of hurt
Yeah.
instead of being at the place of, let's try to move forward. You know what I'm saying? When you go to the hospital, you know what I'm saying, because your arm is bothering you, your leg, the plan is not to stay there.
Yeah.
Eventually, let me get what I need from the doctor, and then let me move forward. You know what I'm saying? So even though I'm still feeling the pain, I need to get out the hospital and move forward with my life. Let me take this medicine and let me keep going. You understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
And so when we say hopeless, we have to define, have you done everything before you throw in the towel? You know what I'm saying? So after you didn't win, because the Bible even says in a multitude of counsel there's safety.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you need to have some counsel first. You know, that's just my suggestion. You know what I'm saying? But I would not tell anybody to stay in a relationship where their life is threatened.
Oh,
Definitely. You know what I'm saying?
Abusive situations?
I'm a pastor and everything, and I'm not.
No.
I'll be to tell somebody, at the end of the day, they say, give me scripture. I ain't got one, but your life is in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You need
Where
the
I'm not going to sit there and tell you.
You need the scripture to tell you to be safe.
I'm not going to stay there. I'm not going to tell you,
Listen.
stay there when he just bashed you in your head with a brick. I'm not. I'm sorry. Another preacher may say, well, you got to stay there and trust God. I'm not that pastor that's going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you, your life is in danger. Y'all probably need to separate.
You need scripture to put on the seatbelt too?
You be surprised by some people, you know what I'm saying? But
there's not a scripture that says wipe your ass, but you do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, real quick, can we bring common sense back? Like, seriously, can we make common sense common again?
But that's the issue. Sometimes people are in situations where common sense then went out the door. Like, for example, and we know people like this. We'll sit back, and I'm quite sure our viewers know people like this. We see them in situations, and we would say, man, if I was you, I'd have been gone.
Yeah.
But once you're in that situation, you're not seeing what they're seeing. You're not feeling what they're feeling. Sometimes they feel, there's hope in this. We can.
Yeah.
I know a couple right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I say they throw them hands with each other, I ain't talking about just snapping their finger at each other. I'm saying they throw them up. Let's get
Mr.
it.
and Mrs. Smith.
Let's get it. They going at it.
Wow.
We talking jail, hospital, police.
Nah.
And guess what? They still together. Not me.
Yeah.
First time you call the police, to me, that's a sign we don't need to be together no more. First time you swing on me, that might be a sign we don't need. That's just me.
Yeah.
But I can't speak on other people's
relationship.
They love or the relationship where they through it all. What was that on Living Color? We still together. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what in the world? So I get the concept of people trying to work it out, but at the same time,
there are limits.
Waste time. Meaning, if you're not going to try, if you're already not going to try, let's not play this game.
Let's
not play this game. Yeah,
that's always been my motto.
Let's not play this.
I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for effort. That's always been my motto. And if I don't see no effort, to me, that's when it's a sign. Now, speaking of my own situation, one, refuse to go to therapy. So there's that.
That's a sign.
Two, when you say you don't ever want to, over the course of 3 years, it wasn't just like she said, I want to be together. And then I was like, all right, I'm out.
Right.
Over the course of 3 years, you saying that at a certain point,
right.
I'm going to be like, well, a relationship requires both of us.
Yeah, take two to tango.
Yeah, so now if it's like, okay, if you completely checked out, who am I having a relationship? Myself?
Exactly.
So that was my cue, right? But I got to say this too.
Relationship with yourself. Go ahead.
Hey, it started when I was 14.
Oh, no.
When I first saw Janet Jackson, like I said, we got back to the hotel. Listen.
Come on. Y'all pray for him.
Like that dude is a true pagan.
Yeah, he's a pagan. He's a pagan.
But I gotta say though, because you mentioned therapy, and I think therapy has become a taboo word in certain religious circles.
Okay.
And I think therapy is good, like a professional therapist. Now I know we climb chimneys over here, so I'm gonna go ahead and say this.
Here we go.
I'm gonna say this: going to a pastor is cool. I ain't got a problem with that.
Yep.
But that should not be the only person you talk to. Go talk to a licensed, trained therapist. Because y'all don't just go to talk to your pastor when y'all have a sickness. You know what I'm saying? Because, you asking to pray for you. But you're going to go to the doctor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why would you not go to a therapist? Still talk to your pastor because he's going to give you whatever scripture that, he going to give you.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times people, I don't know how this all started. I'm just surmising at this point. But and I don't know if it's I don't know. I'm trying to explain why I feel like it's taboo. I think sometimes religious folks can be too religious, where it's like, okay, like you're still human. You still operate within this world.
Sure.
And this notion of, well, I'm just going to ask my pastor and he's going to give me scripture and pray about. Look, sometimes you need a real person to talk to. Sometimes you're just not trying to hear scripture.
Well, pastors are real people.
Yes, when they want to be. And
wow. Wow. Okay.
You're different.
All right. They didn't even talk to a real person.
Talk to a real
blow
person.
Up doll or something?
No.
A real person.
It's about having that relationship with yourself.
All right. Y'all Y'all pray for this guy.
Speaking of blow up dolls, shout out to my brother-in-law.
Yo, what in the world?
Anybody that knows my brother-in-law, you know what I'm talking about. And he a youth pastor. That's the crazy part. He's a youth pastor. What was he talking about? Oh, so we get this show in a while. So I got all this crazy I got to unpack.
Okay.
But no, I would just say though, like, because I think therapy is good, but I think, like I said, in religious circles, it's a taboo thing because it's like, well, that ain't Bible. Well, you know, saying like it's like.
Well, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just religious circles. Okay. I
Yeah.
think it's almost a cultural thing.
That too.
So I can't just say religious because at the end of the day, there are some things where certain folks just don't do. Like they say, men don't go to the doctor.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying?
Agreed.
So when it's all said and done, I would say, and I'm not trying to fire shots at anybody, but like the black race.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we kind of like the last ones to get on board.
Because
to
it's
go
seen as
to
crazy.
therapy.
Like you go
Like
to therapy.
something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You know, but just to let everybody know, something is wrong with you. Something wrong
That's
with
why
all
you.
of us.
Yeah. Like that's why you.
It's
go.
something wrong.
We
A
all are
lot of
flawed.
stuff- Watch this. A lot of us don't even realize your childhood was not normal.
Oh yeah.
You just grew up that way, but when you look back, you're like, yo, what in the world? You know what I'm saying? Like,
black
but we
folks-
survived it. But what kind of, side effects?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like for me, don't y'all, I know y'all gonna laugh, but I got PTSD from the electric bill. Okay? Here we are. As a kid, our electricity used to get shut off all the time, right? So as a grown man, okay, I'm just saying, as a grown man, if there's a storm outside or whatever and the power go out, my first thoughts is I didn't pay the bill. Immediately, I started thinking I'm behind on my bill and it's only a storm.
Yeah.
But I was so used to that
Yeah.
growing up, having the electricity shut off. You know what I mean? My parents did the best they could, but a lot of us been there. Come on, y'all, don't judge me. Y'all done had stuff shut off and stuff like that. But once I became grown and stuff, it was like, yo, that still affect me to the point where it's a storm outside. The power went out. First thing I want to do, call DTE or whatever to find out, was it the storm or did I get it? They got me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
No, I
lot of that
I
stuff,
feel you on that.
Kinda, just with the therapy thing, we're not taught to do that.
Yeah.
You
Black
know?
people wear struggle like as a badge of honor. And I get it to some degree because we have to go through a lot more than most.
But it wasn't taught though.
No, you're right.
Think about it. As a kid, it was not taught to us to go to therapy. We were taught to go to the hospital, taught to go to the dentist, taught to go to court.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah. Oh,
we
yeah. You
had
better
do.
go to court.
But we didn't. That was not
Yeah.
taught to us. It was
Especially as
get
men.
through it.
Yeah.
Get through it.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Work it out.
Yeah.
Make it work. That's what we was taught.
Make it
Figure
work.
it out.
Yep.
Go figure it out. Be a man.
Yep.
That's what be a man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's nothing wrong with the whole therapy piece.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Go ahead.
No, I 100% agree with you. And as far as PTSD, like it's funny because I have a different relationship with the electric bill, where it's like, like if the power goes out, like I'm not sticking around. I'm not about to struggle until the lights come back on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not pulling out no candles, no flashlights. I'm going to my car and I'm finding a hotel for the night. I'm not doing it.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I just refuse to struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like even with the food situation, like the lowest I will go is make spaghetti. If I gotta make ramen noodles, something is wrong in my
Hey
life.
man, I'm a
I'm not
ramen noodle
doing
guy
it.
over
I
here,
don't
man.
care. I'm not
What
doing it no
Shout out to my folks with the white cups.
Listen,
We holding it down.
I've eaten enough ramen noodles for one lifetime, bro.
I
I'm not
can't even
doing
say that. What is it? Mariucci? Mariucci. I'm down with that.
Listen, I'm not doing it.
I'm
certain
down
things.
with that in a minute.
That's my PTSD. I'm not
I
eating
get
no
a
more
white
ramen
cup in
noodles.
a minute.
No,
Add water.
nope,
Stir that bad boy up.
Mm-mm.
Put that sauce on it.
nope,
Man, you eating good.
no, bro. I promise you, the lowest I will go is I will make spaghetti.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's the go-to, right? When you
What about Vienna sausages?
Who?
Vienna sausages.
Oh, no.
What?
No, I'm not doing that no more.
Fried bologna.
I will do that.
Okay, take that little red strip off. Let that bad boy
I will
fry
do that.
up.
I will do that.
Peanut butter and jelly?
See, I was never a big peanut butter and jelly guy anyway. So there's certain struggle things I would do.
Okay.
But it's just like certain things, I'm just not. Ramen noodle, I can't tell you how much ramen noodles I ate.
You missing out, bro.
No, I did not
missing
miss out. I ate, you know what it is? And maybe it's this, because like when I was a kid, I loved chocolate, right?
Mhm.
Now, like, I barely eat it.
What?
Like, like I'll drink a hot chocolate or something like that.
Oh no,
but it's like,
yeah.
but like a brownie, I'm like it has to be like the last thing available for me to like touch it. Like
Would you eat a brownie if it had some?
I did it, and I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it again.
Okay.
There's a whole story behind that, man.
We need to get back to wasting time.
Listen, I was on some Dr. Strange. I saw it, man. I saw Future.
Yeah.
I saw all 14 million versions of the fight from Endgame.
You saw Moses?
Man, I saw that. I saw hieroglyphics,
Yeah, the
math
Moses
equations. Man,
Yeah.
I saw the Future. But no, I agree with you as far as like it could be a cultural thing too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so my whole thing is, you know, because like I said, I know people like to talk to their pastor. I'm not saying don't do it, right? But at the same time, sometimes your pastor might not be equipped to
That's
talk.
real.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he might, like I said, he's gonna give you scripture, but you know, I think being a good therapist it's an approach you gotta have. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll tell you like, you know, first thing to do is don't pick sides.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's about getting the other person to see a different point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and like you said, it's like once you get that different point of view from a neutral party who has no biases, hopefully, then that allows you to receive the message more than the person that you feel like you're up against.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, stuff like that. And I would tell anybody like to be in a relationship or not, even if you're not in a relationship, I think it's just good to talk to a therapist, but especially when you're in a relationship, because that requires so much more work. You know what I'm saying? You live with a whole other person, and like I remember the one girl I used to date, she had like crazy OCD.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking in my head, like, if we ever make it to the point we living together, like, this is gonna drive me up a wall. Because I'm obviously I don't have that. So you know, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that pair of shoes would probably be there by like next Friday. So I'm just saying, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, yo, listen, I ain't the worst person, but you know, I ain't the tidiest person either. And if you expecting that, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Point is, I just think people get into relationships. First of all, I don't think people take the time to actually develop relationships. Is like, let's keep it a buck. Like, I feel like a lot of people jump to sex way too fast.
Okay.
Because that skews the whole game right there. Because, like, once again, I ain't trying to down talk, you know, women or anything, but I know once you have sex with a woman, like, things become a lot more emotional from her point of view.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, even from a man's point of view, too.
Yeah.
Even from a man's point of view. I'm not trying to downgrade it or anything, but I just think it goes to a place that it doesn't necessarily need to go to.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like something that happens within the first week or two.
Yeah.
But I just think people don't take the time to develop relationships. I mean, we know this from the fact that like we got a whole bunch of people having kids with people that they would never have kids with if they actually took the time to think about who this person is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, but we rush to do, you know, whatever, and then obviously a consequence of that is pregnancy. And then
that's a whole nother topic,
it is,
bro.
It
I
is.
could go,
because I could go all day with that too. Because it's like I get tired of hearing either parent complain about the other, and it's like, dog, whose fault is that?
Yeah, yeah. You know, but the thing is, I think what people need to come to grips with when we start talking about not wasting your time, I think you have to come to grips with, what do you want?
See, that's right there.
And a lot of people don't really know what they want. Like I was having a conversation just yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. With these two ladies on the job, and they were talking about how they would love to be a stay-at-home wife. I said, let's cut that out right now. Let's stop. Hold on, ladies, for y'all get mad at me for saying this. I said, let's stop. Let's stop. Okay. And I told them, I said, y'all probably about to get mad at me for what I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
But once I said what I said, they was on board. I said, hold on now, let's be real. Think about what you're saying. You want to be a stay-home wife. I said, with that being said, you've been independent for a long time.
Yep.
Are you sure you ready to be in a situation where somebody going to tell you no? Let's be real now. Are you ready to be in a situation where, as a grown woman, you're going to have to ask that man for some money? I hear what you're saying. It sounds good, but are you sure you're ready to be in that position? You've been independent. You know, you do what you want to do. And now somebody's going to come in the picture and tell you what you not going to do. Okay? And I've heard women say this. Ladies, don't fire shots at me yet. Okay? But I've heard, especially ladies say, I want a man that got his own house. He got his own car. got his own money. You know, he got his own. Well, my question is, do you have that stuff? You can't say, you know what I'm saying? I'm like the commercial say, what's in your wallet?
Man.
You know what I'm saying? So when we
Man.
coming together, it ought to be a merger.
Yes.
Not one person bringing everything to the table.
And
So
just-
you need to
man.
ask yourself, what do you really want in the relationship? And then watch this. You kind of need to almost mentally write or fill or create an application, like a job application.
Yes.
You know how you go for a job and it say minimum requirements?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you really want? Do you want, okay, a man that's soft? Or do you want a man that's hard? Do you want a man that he's out there getting that money? Or a man that's gonna be at home a lot? You know what I'm saying? And you
Yeah.
cool with barely getting by? Or you want somebody that's gonna be out there getting it? You know, I remember T.D. Jakes made a scenario which was good. He said, you know, when you see those Western movies,
Mhm.
you see the husband out there guiding the horses and the family
in the wagon.
In the wagon.
Mhm.
Okay, he's out there dealing with the elements, but he still got to make that family move. Okay,
Mhm.
but now if he's not out there, but he's in the wagon, then the family ain't going nowhere.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You can't have him guiding the wagon and being on the inside at the same time. So which one do you want? So I think it boils down to, what do you really want? And then when you know what you want, you need to have a conversation with that person.
Dude, you spitting so much facts right now. Because
You need to have a conversation.
to your point,
Yeah.
because I just thought of two things. One, this is why I said what I said, because I think most people don't take the time to think about what they want in a relationship.
What you want.
They
Yeah.
living in such the moment,
Yeah.
and whatever happiness or pleasure that they're getting in the moment, they make short-term decisions
Mhm.
and expect long-term goals to come, you know what I'm saying, to come to fruition. And it's like, but they don't take the time to actually think about those long-term goals,
Mhm.
right? And this is why I say don't waste time. Like, if I want to be an electrician, go and apply for a plumber.
Mhm.
Doesn't help me be the
Right.
electrician.
Right.
And it's like, well, you know, I'm getting it's good pay. Okay, it might be good pay in the moment because all things considered, what I've had before, it might look good. But if that's not my end goal,
Right.
then I'm wasting my time in this place,
Right.
right? And another point I wanted to bring up too was, I just had it. We was talking about, you were talking about like having a resume or application or whatever, right? And think of it like a job, right?
Yeah.
A job would say we're looking for this type of employee.
Yes.
But you know what else they have?
Mhm.
Here's your pay.
Mhm.
Here's your benefits.
Mhm.
So it's beneficial to both of us.
Sure.
We get your skill set
Sure.
and you get our
Yes.
compensation.
Yes.
Right? So it ain't just one, like you said, one person bringing everything. Because I can't tell you, I'm going to tell you right now, ladies, if you want a man,
Here we go.
no, I'm telling you, if you
Good.
want a certain type of man, you know what they're not trying to hear? I am the table. Because you know what you sound like right now? A bill. You sound like another bill.
But wait a minute.
Real talk. No.
But let me say something on that though.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done, they should be.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why.
I'm just gonna
I'm gonna
look
tell
up.
you why. Okay. Because that's part of our responsibility as men
Yes.
to take care of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
We supposed to provide. So at the end of the day, hold on now. Okay. Come on now, ladies, y'all ought to be throwing some hearts and all that stuff. Oh, that's
Nah,
not Facebook.
nah, I
Y'all
know.
ought to be getting
Don't
excited.
do it.
Because no, they need their hair done, their nails done, their
uh-huh.
toes done. Yeah, we want our women to look nice.
Hold on.
So we shouldn't mind paying for that stuff.
See, what you're talking about is
Hold
actually
on.
what I'm do. Okay, go on.
Hold
I'm
on.
finish. I'm
We
gonna let you
shouldn't
cook.
mind that. So,
Uh-huh.
so to a certain extent, we should view them like, yo, I got to make sure my woman taken care of.
Yes.
But at the same time, watch this.
Mhm.
Make sure we taken care of. Now, if I'm doing all this, it's not too much for you. You know, hey, can I get you to cook something?
Here's my
Don't
thing.
tell me it's something. Well, you better go in there and fix you something. Hold on. I didn't say that when I paid for your nails.
Yeah.
I didn't say that when I got your hair done. It's like, come on now. You know, don't get what you need and then kick him to the curb now.
Hold on. Now, I agree with you. Now,
Okay.
here's the thing.
All right, all right,
Here's,
all
and
right,
this is
all
what I mean.
All right.
To me, it's not so much what you do, it's how you do it. Now, when I say if you got the type of attitude where if your attitude is I am the table, in the Bible it talks about God likes a what?
Cheerful.
Cheerful giver, right?
Yes.
So you can just give.
Sure.
Just giving ain't enough.
Right.
He wants you to be cheerful when you do it.
Yes.
Right. So I'm doing all this stuff, and you should feel like you the table, right? Because like you said, as a man, I'm supposed to take care of all that stuff, right?
Yep.
But if your attitude ain't right,
I agree.
And that's all I'm saying.
Yes,
Have the
yes,
right attitude.
yes,
If
yes.
you come in talking about I'm the table, you know what that tells me? You have no interest in bringing anything to this relationship but your existence.
Mhm.
And like you said, if I'm doing all that stuff, I better be getting if I'm meeting your needs, you should be meeting mine.
Well, that's the scripture. The Bible said when God created Eve, she was a help meet. Okay? Meaning this man gonna need some help. There's some areas where, yeah, he's in the image of God, he's this and that. And God even saw he's going to need some help.
Yeah. But she ain't come in talking about on the table.
No, she ain't come in
If I
on
showed
the
up,
table.
If I showed up to my interview with Chrysler 10, 11 years ago, and I'm like, and they like, so what's your experience? On the table. Like, they gonna be like, yo, what?
But wait. Let me fix this though, real quick. But, and now the fella's gonna probably get mad at me on this one.
I'm mad at you not.
Yeah, you probably mad at me. Okay, here we go. But before Eve showed up,
Yeah.
everything was already in place.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there are some men out there that's not ready for a relationship
Agreed.
because you don't have stuff in place. Adam already had the garden. He already had everything that was needed before he took on a woman because it's gonna take some work.
Oh, I 100% agree with you.
It's gonna
We agree on that. I ain't even mad at you on that. Matter of fact, I was having this conversation with somebody a couple weeks ago, and I was like, as a man,
Yeah.
and it's almost like the military, right?
Yeah.
Because like if you've been in the military, you got somebody else, trying to act like, what is it called? Stolen valor? I think that's what it's called. When you try to act like you was in the military but you weren't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like they get mad because it's like, yo, you didn't earn that now. You ain't get that title. You ain't earned that, right? I feel the same way about being a man. I feel like there's a lot of dudes out here with stolen valor want to call themselves men, but you ain't did. I know what I did to be a man.
Right. They males. They might be males, but they not a man.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so my whole thing is like, yo, I took care of my wife and my daughter.
Mhm.
I put both of them through school. Like, yo, like she had to work for 7 years
Mhm.
because I wanted her to stay at home with our daughter.
Mhm.
I stepped up as a man
Mhm.
and took care of that.
Yeah.
Put clothes on their back, food in their stomach,
Mhm.
roof over their head. So it's like, so I can call myself a man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you just out here just sleeping with people and you barely got a job, you work at Burlington Coat Factory or something, who you taking care of? You barely taking care of yourself.
I
Like,
almost got in trouble. I was about to
listen,
fire,
and I'm not-
I was about to fire some shots, but I
no.
didn't fire no shots.
And here's my thing.
Not at you. I was thinking.
No.
I was thinking Nick Cannon. That whole.
Oh, yeah. But my whole thing is
but-
this. And I'm not knocking you if you were working a Burlington Coat Factory. I'm knocking you if you work there but expecting a woman to show up and, play the role of a wife,
Mhm.
but you ain't being the role of a husband. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Because
Gotcha.
Burlington Coat Factory ain't going to feed nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so my whole thing is, like you said, get yourself in a position first before you call yourself going out there
Yeah.
trying to find your Ruth, Boaz.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, do like Boaz did. Put himself in a position so where I can come and ask for Ruth.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of these dudes and a lot of women get into these relationships, neither one of them ready,
Right.
but yet expecting the results of, and I'm going to say this too real quick
Go
before
ahead. You good?
hot take. Listen, to your point, if I'm meeting all your needs, because I hate when women do this, and before it sounded incredulous to say because it was like, oh, you can't say that, but fuck it, I'm about to say it.
Here we go.
Listen,
Buckle your seatbelts.
listen, if I'm meeting all your needs,
Mhm.
you better meet all mine. I'm going to say that one more time. If I'm meeting all your needs, you better be meeting all mine. And I know this
We need to
sounds,
zoom in on you when you see.
Yeah, I know.
I'm saying.
meet all mine. Because listen, if we're going to make this transactional where it's like, okay, you know what? In order for me to be feminine and all this other stuff, I got to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I bet not have to ask for sex. I bet not.
Oh.
I bet not. I bet not. I don't care.
Here we
Because
go.
it's like, wait a minute.
No,
Wait.
that's facts. That's facts. Because I saw this one guy and he made a good point. He said this, okay? He said, why should I have to ask for food or ask for sex? He said, the dog don't do that. But we make sure the dog is fed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he's like, why should I have to? But at the same time, we got to be reasonable.
Oh, yeah. No,
You got to be reasonable.
Like,
you know
they're
what
not
I'm saying?
robots. I'm
right.
just saying.
She might be sick as a dog, and here you come in
Exactly.
here and talk about that.
Right.
You got the cape on. You put the cape
Right.
on.
The swing
And-
comes down from the ceiling.
Standing like Captain Morgan. Like, dude, she's sick as a dog. What
Exactly.
Is you
No.
doing?
And I agree with you on that. Like, they not robots. They not, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I agree with you. Like,
Yeah.
but there's a difference between being, being realistic and going through like a whole dry spell. Like, if a month goes by, like, I ain't trying to hear that. Nah, like a couple of days, even a week. Like, because like you said, like stuff could happen. Like her mother could have just died. I'm not gonna come in. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give her space. If something happened at work, I'm gonna give her space. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this. If you really love the person you're with, right, you're going to consider them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I heard this, and it's so hard to get to this place. But if I'm thinking about you 100%, and you think about me 100%, we're both getting what we want.
Yeah.
I think what happens in a relationship, too, is that we get so hyper-focused on what we're not getting that we forget that we're not giving.
Sure.
And to your point earlier, too, I think you talked about arguments. Because I think that's the biggest problem in relationships is people not knowing how to communicate. I think, for me personally, there's hills that are worth dying on, there's hills that's not.
Mm-hmm.
If this hill is not worth dying on, I'm not dying on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth the argument.
Mm-hmm.
You win.
Mm-hmm.
If we can avoid this conversation if we can avoid this whole argument, then I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only going to argue about things that actually mean something to me. Now, we're all humans, so we're bound to make mistakes.
Yeah.
But this is my goal. This is the place I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so because it's like, once again, wasting time. Why am I going to be in this relationship if I'm not going to cultivate it? If I'm not going to nurture it and steer it in the direction it needs to go? If I'm going to add to the chaos and the toxicity, then I'm wasting my own time, let alone her wasting my time.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? I think, too, what needs to happen is just like in sports. You know, you see some teams where they add players and some players just don't work.
Oh, you
Shout
see
out
it.
to LA Clippers. It ain't working. It ain't working. Y'all done added 4 superstars.
That James Harden trade was dumb.
And can't get a win. But I'm reminded of the times where, you know, back in the day we used to play basketball together and stuff like that or whatever. And let's say, for instance, if I messed up, okay? As a teammate, I'm willing to look at my teammate and do this. And that means right there, my bad.
My bad, yep.
And sometimes in relationships, you need to just fess up, my bad. And then at the same time, watch this. Your teammates need to have enough trust in you to know, you know what, Terry gonna make it up on the next one. You know,
There you go.
at least he realized his
There you go.
mistake instead of me trying to, you know, why you ain't catch the ball? No, I threw you a bad pass. I turned it over. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, we have to learn too that even with that, my teammates didn't stop being my teammates because I messed up.
Yeah, that part.
You see what I'm saying? When Isaiah threw the ball away and Bird stole it, the Pistons didn't stop being his teammates.
They ain't trade him.
No, they came back next year.
They traded Andrew Dantley.
They came back the next year and went further in the playoffs. They went to the championship.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They just came back stronger. And I think that's what needs to happen. But the key is, you know, when we say don't waste your time, first off, can y'all even be teammates?
But that's
See
the
what I'm
thing,
saying?
though. That's why
Before you
keep
even
going
start having sex and all that, it's like, yo, is this somebody I can be on the same team with? Because you know what I'm saying? I'm hearing what they saying.
Yeah.
I'm hearing their views. I'm hearing their goals in life. Like I remember years ago, this one girl I was talking to, right? Here I am, straight out of Detroit.
Yeah.
7 Mile.
Yeah.
Okay. She reminded me of Hillary on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Okay. She was from East Lansing. She's from a whole nother area. But that's how she acted, right?
Yeah.
I knew right off the bat, this is not going to work. Because her mindset is like, you're a little bit too loony for me. You're not real. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds like my ex.
This is not the real world. But I knew right then, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's not waste our time. This is about to be a waste of time. See, while you wasting your time with this person, watch this. It could be the very person you're supposed to be over here, and they see you with that person. And it's like, well, they take it.
Yeah.
But the whole time you miserable because y'all wasting y'all time when you know y'all not compatible.
Man.
You know y'all not compatible. Y'all have already had conversations. You know what I'm saying? You already see what they mindset. I remember counseling this one couple, okay? And I'm not firing no shots. It is what it is. But the young lady was she was a nurse making good money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, her man that she was going to marry, he was a aspiring rapper straight out of Kentucky.
Sound like two negatives. But
Yeah. So she's working.
Well, how old was he?
At the time, he might have been about 26, 27.
Okay. Well, I can forgive that. If you in your 30s talking about that.
Yeah. But the thing was, she's making money. It was her car they were in, her house they were in. She had everything.
Yeah.
his job until his album dropped, supposedly. His
Is
job.
he a gospel rapper?
No, no, he wasn't.
Thank God.
But his job was he worked at a either a daycare center or a school, not a school, like a where you drop your kids off at daycare.
Okay.
And he made sandwiches for the kids.
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm out.
And I'm like, okay, this is difficult. She's a nurse making buku money.
He a sandwich maker? How you a sandwich maker, dog?
He was throwing that Miracle Whip on it, right? You know what I'm saying?
Get up man, a butter knife, look out.
Cheese, no cheese. You want salami? I
You
got
say he
you.
the John Wick of butter knives?
You know what?
Oh, boy.
So the whole time we in counseling, I'm
One more.
Oh, goodness.
You know people who have like menial jobs, but they try to talk them up,
Yeah,
like a trash technician.
yeah.
So he's like a culinary artist or something.
You know what?
Huh?
Terrible.
Dog.
Listen. So the whole time we're talking and counseling, I'm thinking in my head, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
This gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things I was saying was that, okay, asking her, are you okay with this?
Yeah.
Because I'm a firm believer, before you get married, you knew this stuff going into the marriage. You knew the career he had, what he was doing for a living.
Yep.
You knew this ahead of time. You already knew it was your house y'all was living in. You already knew he didn't have a car.
Yeah.
You know, he had a car, but it didn't run.
Right.
Okay. But you already knew this stuff. You knew he didn't have no money. You knew this going into it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, like I told them, once y'all get married, you can't bring that up later on like he don't make no money. You knew that before.
exactly.
And you was willing to do it. Okay.
Yep.
But the thing was, the last statement he made, I was done with the situation. Okay. Like, girl, if you still marry him, you off your rocker.
Mm-hmm.
He said this. I don't understand why we about to spend all this money on this wedding when we could take that money, put it on my album, and when my album drop and when it blow up, we can take the money from my sales and then put that towards the wedding. I just looked at her like, are you hearing what he just said? Are you hearing what he just said? But guess what she did? She married him anyway. Okay? And when it's all said and done, of course, y'all already know how this story played out. No, they're not together anymore. They're divorced.
Shocker.
But that was one of the issues she tried to bring up later on. He wasn't bringing in no money. But you knew that going into it. That's why I said you got to have conversations where right now y'all wasting y'all time. Now, you already knew that was going to be a problem.
Oh, for sure.
You see what I'm saying? You wasted time when it could have been somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, same thing for him.
Yeah.
You know? And he's one of them guys, you know what I'm saying?
But I can see why he's in it because, like, he's benefiting from it. He got a house.
He get benefit.
He get to drive her car.
Yep.
Here's my thing.
Yep. I pour off at work. Was that Baby Boy? Was that Baby Boy? Ain't that the movie?
Yeah. She had to ask for her car throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
My whole thing is
It was
this.
almost like that, too.
It was,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty much like that.
But my whole thing is this, ladies, and I love y'all. I really do. But, and men do it too. I'm not going to say to just make it. But it feels like ladies have this thing about trying to, it's like they try to like rehabilitate dudes or something. I don't know. Like, 'cause they go after dudes that we all can see ain't no good and then be stuck on them. Meanwhile, like you said, the perfect guy could walk down the street. He too lame. He too corny. He too this. And it's like, yeah. Like, matter of fact, I had a conversation with somebody and they was like, where can I find a good man like you at? And I'm like, you can't. Like, I'm gone. But if you want to find something that's close.
A one of a kind. Huh?
Yeah. But no, I told him, because I like, where you looking? Oh, I go here. Like, basically clubs and all this other stuff. And I'm like, you're not going to find a good man at the club because, you know, first of all, a good man work too hard to be at the club. They tired. Mm-hmm. And most of them are trying to chill. Once again, they value their time. Mm-hmm. So you know where they're going to be at?
Yep.
At home, probably. Like, good guys, more often than not, I'm not saying that good guys don't go to the club or can't go to the club. I'm just saying more often than not, most good guys are at home chilling.
Right.
And especially once you get to a certain age. And I'm like, if you really want to know where to find a good guy at, go to a coffee shop. Because they're getting coffee to either start their day, you know, and, you know, or they doing something. Like, that's a good place to find a good guy. Like, this notion that you're going to find a good guy at the club, you know what you're going to find? Somebody that wants to sleep with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not to say that every dude at the club is a horrible person, but where you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know where I'm not going to go fish at?
Where?
Anywhere downriver.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, what type of fish am I expecting to get?
Mm-hmm.
If I want good fish, I'm going to go to a spot where the lake is clean. I ain't got to worry about pollution.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to go somewhere where I'm going to get some good fish. I'm not going to go somewhere where my fish could be polluted or, you know, have all types of stuff going on with it because the water's bad. And it's like a lot of times you got the people, men and women, go fishing in bad water and expecting good fish.
Yeah.
And it's like, what you expecting?
So when it's all said and done, when we talking about not wasting your time, when do you realize it's time to call it? When do you realize it's time to call it? What do you say?
I say it's time to call it. I think once you've put in X amount of effort, and I'm using the word X because I feel like that's depending on who you are, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel like you have to put in effort into a relationship. And I think once that effort is unmatched, not only unmatched, but I think when that person refuses to match, because effort doesn't mean equal money. It doesn't mean equal, only thing that means equal is we're both trying equally hard.
Okay.
Right. And if I'm trying hard to build a good relationship with you and you're not as interested in reciprocating that, after a certain amount of time, I'm out. Because what that leads to is resentment. And if I get to a place of resentment, then it's hard to come back from that because you're just there. And I think, and once again, and the reason is people stick in relationships because it's familiar and they don't want to be alone and all these horrible reasons to stay in a relationship. And I just think once a person shows you who they are and shows you over a consistent amount of time that they have no interest in feeding into this relationship, pouring into this relationship, matching your effort, then you're just wasting your time at that point.
Can I read the scripture?
I mean,
oh, I know
you the pastor. I figured I was going to come up at some point.
Well, this is a scripture. This is a scripture I tend to use for people with relationships and stuff like that, especially, you know, a marriage or an engagement with a strong relationship. You know what I'm saying? I think we talking about, you know, relationships that may have been strong. We ain't talking about y'all was together for a week. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no.
Y'all ain't been through nothing. But I want to read this scripture, and for those that might want to follow through or look it up, it's in Luke chapter 13, verse 6. It says this, Luke 13 and verse 6. It says, he spake also this parable and said, a certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard, and he came and sought fruit thereon and found none. So it's a fig tree, and he was looking for fruit. Fruit represent results.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if there's any results in this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Then said he unto the dresser of the vineyard, behold, these 3 years I come seeking fruit on this fig tree and find none. He says, it's been 3 years. I've been looking for fruit. I've been looking for results. I've been looking for stuff to happen, and ain't nothing changing. Ain't nothing happening. Okay? He says, cut it down. He said, cut it down. End it. Right? Yeah. He said, why cumbereth it the ground? And he answered and said unto him, Lord, let it alone this year also. He said, okay, before you cut it down, let's give it one more year.
Okay.
Catch this. He said, let's give it one more year. He says this, also, till I shall dig about it and dung it. Meaning this, let's give it one more year, but let's do some things to it. Okay. Like I said, counseling and stuff like that. Okay, you're already in a situation. Let's make some changes.
Yeah.
Let's do some things. And that's what he did. Let's he says right here, and I shall dig about it. Meaning I'm going to dig up some stuff around it, see if it's going to work. Okay. And then the last scripture, he says this, verse 9. And if it bear fruit well, and if not, then after that thou shalt cut it down. Meaning after we tried to make the changes and tried to do everything we need to do and it still don't work, walk.
Two things.
Yep.
And I 100% agree with that.
Yep.
One, I just want people to like catch what I didn't mention as far as like leaving a relationship. Notice I didn't say happiness.
Right. Yes.
Because
that's a whole other thing.
Because that's the thing. Listen, happiness, look, there's days you still go to work and you hate your job.
Yep.
So I'm not really interested. I think social media has done a number on relationships.
We got to talk about social media.
Social media has done a number because it got y'all thinking that relationships are supposed to be Disney-fied. And I even had a girl tell me, like, she was looking for butterflies. And I'm like, the fuck? like, 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 I'm grown, bro. I'm not about to. Like, what's he talking about? Like, I'm not. Are you serious? Like, we both grown in our 30s. You talking about butterflies?
Right.
And she even said, well, I grew up reading fairy tales. I'm like, you know why they're called fairy tales?
Right.
Because they're not real.
It's not real.
And I'm like, see, you look at fairy tales as a blueprint. Most people that actually live real life, they look at fairy tales as a form of escapism, right? Like, I don't read Peter Pan. I'm like, man, I want to fly one day. Like, no, like, I know that doesn't exist.
Right.
But it's fun to read. It's fun to just let my imagination go for an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's not real.
It's not real.
And another thing, too, when we talk about getting to where you were talking about, like, give it one more year, that takes accountability.
Yes.
From both sides.
And it was work. They didn't just say, give it one more year. No, we about to redo some stuff. We about to make some changes and do something. They said we gonna dig about it.
What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
So that means if you're looking for different results, you got to do some changes.
It's funny you said that. I've been listening to this song. Shout out to William Murphy, Bishop William Murphy. I need to pull up this song called Changes, the live at New Birth version.
Okay.
And what he says in the song, and it's really been blessing me, man. He says, in order for change, there must be changes. Okay? And a lot of times we want change, but we're not ready to embrace the changes.
Well, I think part of that is one, like I agree with you on that. I think the main problem with that is people are still holding on to things.
Yeah.
And that's a very hard thing to do is let it go.
Oh, I just heard something when you said that.
What's that?
People want the other person to conform to their world.
Yep.
Instead of creating a new world together, it's like, no, you need to come into what I'm doing. You need to fit into what I'm doing. That's why, and I know I'm going to get in trouble on this probably. We can talk about this another time. That's why I don't like the concept of when people get married. Let's say, for instance, okay, you get married, right? And you already got your own place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she moving in with you.
Yeah.
I don't like that concept. I would suggest, why don't y'all go get a new place?
Oh, I agree.
You see what I'm saying?
House.
Go get something a new place, because now she would have to conform, even though you could say, yeah, you can go ahead and do that. But after a while, it's going to be like, no, I like my stuff like that. I've had it like that for a long time. Why you moving stuff? Why you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where you can it's like, no, just start something new together.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to get them to conform to what you've been doing.
No, I 100% agree with that. And I just think, too, I think people need to go in with the right attitude.
Yeah.
Like you said, make a blueprint. I mean, not a blueprint, but make a list of the type of man you want or the type of woman you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as you make that list, make a list of the type of person you need to be to attract that type of man or woman. Because that goes over a lot of people's head. Because I had an ex that had a list. I mean, a list. Like, literally pulled it out. It was in the car. Pulls it out to show me what type of man she prayed for, right? And I was like, so where's the list of what type of woman you need to be? She wasn't ready to hear that. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, and it's so funny, too, because, she's on a praise team and stuff. Okay. And, no, my whole thing, but here's my thing. No, it only comes up because it's like, we've had conversations where, and I don't even go to church like that, but I feel like there was more scripture backing up what I said. Like, anytime you got to preference yourself with modern Christian, you already lost. Because basically what you're telling me is, I want to act like the world, but I still want to go to church and act like I'm going to heaven when I die. Like, you want to act like me when it suits you. I feel like this. If I see more of Jay-Z in you, if I see more of Cardi B in you than I see of God,
that's a problem.
That's a problem. And so, once again, I had to move my feet because I'm like, I'm not about to stick around here. You're not about to drive me to church, and then we both smoking a joint after we leave.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Something wrong with that.
I'm smoking a joint to deal with you. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're smoking for.
Right.
Because you want to look cool. Yeah. And so, I definitely agree with everything you said. And like I said, make an application or a list. Go in with a goal. Yeah. What do you want in this relationship?
Yeah.
What type of man do you want? What type of woman do you want? And then figure out what you need to be. And then once you get into that relationship, figure out what's worth arguing about, what isn't. Learn how to communicate.
Yeah.
Don't communicate out of anger. Like, a lot of times before I got to an argument, I would be like, you know what? Let me go for a walk. Let me decompress. Because I don't want to, because at this stage, I'm going to pop off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let me cool down because I don't want to ring any bells that I can't unring.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so learning how to communicate, taking accountability for your actions. don't give yourself excuses.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get called out for doing something, learn how to accept constructive criticism.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a hard thing for people too.
That's real, because I think this, and I know we about to close it out on this. I think too, you've got to recognize and look at yourself. If you don't see no problems in yourself, then you can't grow. You think you're good.
Yeah.
That's nothing for me to work on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I believe you need to work on yourself every day. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, agreed.
You know, instead of you competing with somebody else, compete with yourself. Can I be a better person than what I was yesterday? Can I be a better husband than I was yesterday? A better wife than I was yesterday? Can I be a better employee than what I was yesterday? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but you gotta look at yourself. You know, everything is not always the other person.
Agreed.
So, you know, when we talk about not wasting your time, you know, let's look at yourself and then, you know, kind of go from there. But
Yeah.
there you go.
But no, real quick,
Yep.
real quick, I'm going to make this real short and sweet. To your point, that's something I had to do. Because when we talk about wasting time,
Yeah.
I don't want to waste my time in the next relationship.
Yep.
So what I did was, like you said, because it's real easy when you, especially when the relationship ends, it's real easy just to put everything on the other person.
Yeah.
And while I could pile a lot,
It was them. It was them. It
Yeah.
was them.
I had to look at myself. I'm like, what could I have done better?
Sure.
And one of the things I came up with was I didn't prioritize quality time like I should have.
Yep.
And that actually led to a lot of things that happened in our relationship that I was mad at her about. But it's like a lot of things could have been dealt with had I stepped up and took accountability in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So once I took the time to take accountability and say, you know what, I could have did this better,
Yeah.
I was able to walk into my new relationship without that being a problem.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, because why get in a relationship and waste my own time if I'm not going to make any changes? I'm going to bring this baggage into the relationship.
Exactly.
So, but anyway, this is a good episode back. We will get back to the rap thing.
I can't wait for that one.
I can't wait for that one either. But once again, shout out to all our listeners. Shout out to people finding the show, finding something out of it. It's crazy to me how we still are like blowing people's minds because they walk in expecting this to be like first take where it's like, you're wrong and you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, more often than not, we agree like on a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a fun conversation that I feel like a lot of people don't have, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially within the church. And,
Yeah.
and like to be able to come here and speak freely and respect each other's opinions.
Yep.
It's something, you can tell it's something different that people aren't used to. So shout out to the people that's finding the show. Shout out to all our listeners.
Yes.
Looking
out, y'all.
Yes. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow us on social media.
Share it.
Yes.
Send it to
Share.
people.
Share.
Yeah.
And shout out to Robbie too. I didn't know she listened to like every episode, which is
really?
crazy.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Shout out to Robbie.
Shout out to Robbie. Shout out to Florida. Found out we got folks in Florida watching us. Yeah. We
That's
in the
crazy.
South. Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
All right.
But anyway,
Atlanta's watching us.
I know we getting at least one view. Shout out to Pops.
I think it's 2. Might be 2.
Okay.
Might be 2. I don't know. Might be more than that. I don't
You know, it could
we
be
got
more. I
Atlanta,
know
we
for
got
sure.
Florida. So that's 3 states.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we got 47 more states to get.
Man. You know, I'm gonna get like a map and then put a pin in each state.
Yeah. Tell us where y'all from when y'all viewing and all that stuff. Give us some comments.
For sure.
Yeah.
But on that note, man, he's the pastor. I'm the pagan. Be blessed. And I forgot. It's been how long since we did the show?
Lower your dosage.
Uh,
Lower your dose.
no more brownies.
No more brown.
No more brownies. I promise you, I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna stick the landing on the next show. But good luck and be blessed. We out.